Oh, let me just ask you a quick question. You can answer it, and I'll say, I promise to say nothing in response. But you just, at the end of your essay, you said, I believe that investigating how evolution occurs is a sacred calling.
Uh-huh.
Just tell us what you mean by that, and then we'll end on that.
Well, it is. It's a precious calling. I don't want to get religious, and I suppose using the word sacred suggests a kind of religiousness. But, and as you must know, a lot of people who are deists think that in the study of nature one is studying the signature, if you will, of God's work. I'm comfortable with that, but I don't, say things like that. It's not my. People's spirituality is a very personal matter, and I don't comment on and interact with others on that. I have been active in speaking in places of worship, trying to explain how evolution is consistent with religious beliefs, and hoping to help people be comfortable with evolution if they happen to identify as people of faith. And I think that we need to talk about evolution and the discovery of nature in terms that aren't hostile and antagonistic to people who are people of faith, because almost everyone I know who is a person of faith became that way not for intellectual reasons but for emotional reasons, and are not about to stop being people of faith if one points out the logical inconsistencies of the position, or if one even tries to address it through logic and evidence, because this is essentially an emotional position, and so I think that's why I try to talk about evolution as something that, in the study of evolution, as something that someone can pursue with a clear conscience. I've often spoken, for example, in fact, I remember speaking, I think it was in Iowa somewhere. I went out with a bunch of graduate students, and I have a small book out called Evolution and Christian Faith that came out in between Evolution's Rainbow and this most recent one, The Genial Gene. And if you get together with a group of around 10 grad students, you always find about 2 or 3 who hesitate to go home for the Thanksgiving holidays because they know they're going to be accosted by their relatives, who will tell them that in studying evolution, they're studying the work of the devil, and and these will be graduate students in biology, and so people need to know that, first of all, they're not doing the work of the devil in any sense, and that they're not, and they need to be in a position to explain to their relatives, if their relatives are interested in discussion, how their activity is consistent with, and to people who are, and to biologists who are people of faith, would be viewed not only as consistent with their faith, but actually as implementing or carrying out their faith. I've spoken with artists who talk about their art, especially people painting icons, and an icon painter will describe painting an icon as a form of prayer. That in drawing the icon, it's their form of prayer. And to a scientist who's a scientist of faith, then studying nature would also be a form of prayer, including studying evolution. And there's no need to make enemies, as we seem to be doing so often in our country, of people of faith, since that's a huge majority of people. And we need educated people. We need people of faith who are educated and who are comfortable with the facts of of nature as we now understand them. So that may be more than you wanted to hear.
No, that's very interesting, and I think I can infer, without you having to comment on this, that you probably don't think that all of Richard Dawkins's writings about religion have made it easier for Darwinian thought to make it to be warmly welcomed in all of the public schools in America and all of and all corners of American society. And I think you may be right if I'm correct in that inference. In any event,
I had a discussion with him at one of these Beyond Belief meetings down at the Salk Institute, and that's on the web, and a lot of people have been looking at that. And even though he came on very strong and was very hostile to begin with, I think we did get to quite a large agreement at the end. Now he wants to diminish, if you will, my point by saying it's mere politics, and that reference to passages in the Bible that foreshadow evolutionary thought is, quote, bad poetry, as he put it. So he's really, goes after me with all guns blazing. But on the other hand, I mean, there we are. He is willing to concede that it's at least good politically, and he's willing to concede that there are passages in the Bible that do foreshadow a lot of evolutionary ideas, including natural selection and including the notion of randomness. And so it's therefore gratuitous to diminish those observations, because we have to reach people, we have to teach in a real society, outdoors, and you're not a successful educator if you're not talking to people as people, looking them in the eye and talking with them where they're at, and just to dismiss that as politics is not helpful. And so I think, but Richard is sincere, and I give him that. I just have a lot of affection for the guy, I really do, and so life goes on. Let's take it from here.
That we can agree on. Life, for the time being, will go on. And I wish this conversation could go on, because we've opened up a set of issues that I could spend another hour on, but we're already close to setting a record for longest dialogue ever.